धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। हर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मज पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Hare Krishna, welcome back. So we have completed chapter 34, and where we ended is that all of Dasharatha's queens were gathered and crying on the imminent situation that Ramachandra will be leaving for the forest, except one person who was not crying, and that was Kaikeyi. So when they saw that Kaikeyi was so heartless, Sumantra, who was standing right next to Dasharat Maharaj, couldn't take it anymore. And although it was not his place, and also he's just a driver, but he's a trusted servant of Dasharat Maharaj. And seeing all these people crying, seeing Dasharatha fallen on the floor, crying piteously. So let's get a context. If an ordinary person is on the floor crying, to some degree one can say, oh, I can understand. But we're talking about the emperor of the world, who can face off with the demons, who fought on behalf of the demigods. And he's such a mighty warrior that he got the name Dasharatha. The name that he was given by his parents is Dharmaraja. But his title as Dasharatha preceded his name. He became more famous as Dasharath than Dharmaraja. Such a person, when they are on the floor crying piteously because of one person, and it is deeply very disturbing. Know what to do. So the scene for Sumantra to talk or respond to Kaikeyi is this. This is the opening of chapter 36. I'm sorry, 35. So 35, Sumantra just could not tolerate it anymore and spoke like words that were so heavy. It is said like they were like thunderbolt, that would shatter Kaikeyi's conscience. Some very heavy words. So here are what he said. He said, first, you have emasculated the emperor of the world. Such a powerful king. Is such a powerful king who ruled the entire planet. He is the master of all the moving and non-moving beings. And you have made him so pitiable. This is very, very disgraceful on your part. And he said this to see if there will be some change of heart in Kaikeyi. So he used the word akaryatamam. Means very, very disgraceful, most disgraceful. Akarya tamam, uttamam. And generally, people are disturbed by others, what others might think of them. So I'm hearing, I'm seeing text that the sound is not clear. So let me see if I can fix it.
Hare Krishna, is the volume better? Can you hear it now?
Right now we can hear you, Prabhu. We'll have to see as you go along.
All right, we'll see. Okay, so that's the first reason. He said that what she's done is very disgraceful, to see if she will move from her position. Then he told her, Kaikeyi, you will be the sole reason and cause for Dashrath Maharaj's death. He tried to help her see the consequence of her actions. Sometimes it helps. Some people may not know the consequence, or they, in that heat of the moment, they may not be fully aware of the consequences of their words and actions. So someone should say, well, hold on, before you utter a word, please consider what effect it will have. So it's good to caution people. So Sumantra is telling her, you will be the cause of his death. Then he says, all right, Kaikeyi, you know what? You keep the kingdom. We will all go to the forest with Ramachandra. So you can live here all by yourself. So then he tries abandonment that you'll all be by yourself. Even then, if there is no movement, finally he says something even more interesting. He says, your innate nature, the core of your nature is bitterness. He compares her to a neem tree. And he says, only a foolish person will chop down a mango tree and plant a neem tree. because neem is very bitter. I cannot give any fruit, especially sweet fruits like mangoes. And he said, even if you have a neem tree and you pour milk at its roots, it will never taste sweet. It will never become sweet, and honey will never ooze from a neem tree, even if you pour milk at its roots. And then finally, he used the ultimate weapon. He said, you're just like your mother. So in any argument, this is not between husband and wife, but in a husband-wife argument, everything is fair game until one of the partners points the fingers at the other person's mother or father or relatives. That's it. Then you have opened a whole new, I shouldn't even say can of worms. You've declared a whole new battle or war. If in the course of argument between husband and wife, you point to either or the other's parents. So he said, you're just like your mother. You're heartless like your mother. So then that's the story that he narrates. This is what Sumantra knew about Kaikeyi's father. He says, your father, one day, while he was lying on his bed with your mother by his side, and suddenly Kaikeyi Maharaj started laughing loudly. So Kaikeyi's mother asked, oh, my dear king, what are you laughing about? And the king said to her, listen, I cannot tell you the reason, because if I were to tell you this reason, I will die. So what was actually happening is there were some ants that were walking or crawling under his bed. There was a male ant and a female ant. And that ant, when it came to one of the legs of the bed, told the female ant, instead of saying that I will go from the side, he said, see my strength, I will move this leg of the bed. And Kaikeyi's father had a gift. He was given a gift from a yogi, that you will be able to understand the language of birds and insects around you. Now, I don't know why someone would want such a gift, but he had that gift. So when he heard a little ant say to his wife ant that he will move the leg of the bed, it was funny. So he started laughing. And that yogi had told the king that this has to be kept secret. If you tell anyone that you have this innate gift of understanding the language of other living beings around you, your head will burst into 10 pieces. Keep it a secret. So the king told his wife, listen, if I tell you, then I will die. And surprisingly, Kaikeyi's mother said, I don't care if you're dead or alive. I need to know why you're laughing. And so Sumantra quotes this, that you are as heartless as your mother. For her, your father's life was less important than knowing what was going on, why he was laughing. Even after saying all this, Valmiki Rishi says that Sumantra's words of repudiation, his plea, his taunt, and finally insulting her absolutely had no impact on Kaikeyi. So the verse says, Naiva sakshubhyate devi, na eva sa, that is Kaikeyi, she, Shubhyate Devi Nachasva Pariduyate. न चास्य मुखवर्णस्य विक्रिया लक्ष्यते tada. Mukhavarna means the color of her face. Na cha asya, her face, mukhavarnasya vikriya, there was no change in the color of her face. So generally, depending upon an emotion that you are experiencing, our face changes colors. So when someone is shocked, the face becomes pale. It's called Panduranga. Pandu. It becomes pale-faced. When someone is very angry, it becomes red. When someone is very sad, it has this transformation where you can see, they say face is the index of the mind. You can see the transformations in a person's face depending upon what emotions they are experiencing. When a person is happy, they look effulgent. So Valmiki is saying that all of Sumantra's words had no impact on Kaikeyi's heart because Mukha Varnasya Vikriya na Lakshate. There was no sign of it. So with that ends chapter 35. Then in 36, Dasharat Maharaja tries one last ditch effort. And he says to Sumantra, listen, Sumantra, it seems like Ramachandra is going to go to the forest anyway. There's no stopping him. So here's what we're going to do. Send the 4 divisions of army with Ramachandra. So the 4 divisions are infantry, soldiers on foot, cavalry, soldiers on horse, elephants, and chariots. These are 4 divisions. So he says, send all 4 divisions of army with Ramachandra so that in the forest, he doesn't have to worry about any danger facing him. My army will take care of it. Second, collect all the expert speakers, negotiators, and all the wealthy merchants who are expert in sales. Bring them and send them along with Ramachandra so that in the forest, they will set up a whole business where there is trade and negotiations. So Ramachandra will not have a shortage of anything. Here's also what you need to add to that list. Collect all the weapons from the kingdom, all the police, all the vehicles, and expert hunters who know the secrets of the forests. They should also go. So Ramachandra is protected in all ways. In all different ways and directions, he's taken care of. Now, if he's in the forest, he needs to eat something. And he will need to have money to give as donations to Brahmanas. So, Sumantra, get the entire granary from our kingdom and make sure it goes with Ramachandra. So there is no shortage of food, vegetables, milk, yogurt, honey, sugar, ghee, fruits, everything should go with Ramachandra. And all the gold, silver, diamond, rubies, necklaces, whatever there is there, whatever is in our treasury should also go away with Ramachandra. And all enjoyable delights like dancers, musicians, painters, all of them should also go with Ramachandra. Let Bharata rule Ayodhya without all these things. Once Dasharatha said this is when Kaikeyi speaks something. Because suddenly Kaikeyi feels insecure. Oh, ho, 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 ho. What is this? What kind of kingdom are you leaving for my son Bharata? No money, no grains, no resources, no infrastructure, no warriors, no army, nothing. How can Bharata rule, and what kind of a kingdom will this be? So she said, hold on, Bharata will not accept such a kingdom, which is uninhabited and hollow. And this is just like giving someone wine when its alcoholic taste and whatever alcohol is there is gone away. So it's just like some flat grape juice. What's the point? No, my Bharata will not take. And she used the same weapon Sumantra used. Sumantra took the topic to her mother. So in Bombay, where I'm from, when arguments get to someone else's mother and father, like in America, they call it the yo mama jokes. In Bombay, they say, ma pe mat ja. So Sumantra said, Kaikeyi said, you talked about my mother, right? I want to talk about your ancestors. And she tells Dasaratha, what are you so paranoid about sending your son to the forest? Your own ancestor, King Sagara, okay, famous guy, sent his son, oldest son, Asamanjasa, to the forest as banishment. Banished him there. So why can't you do it? You have precedents already there. And don't tell me about my family. Your own family has banished their children to the forest. And Dasaratha could not tolerate it anymore. And he said, shame on you. And just kept quiet. Then another minister in Dasaratha's court, if you remember our first or second lecture, we had listed all the names of Dasaratha's ministers. And one of them was Sumantra, other was Siddhartha. So Siddhartha spoke up and told her, oh Kaikeyi, your example of Asamanjasa is not correct. It is true, King Sagara sent Asamanjasa away. But what is the reason? Asamanjasa was a very cruel fellow. He would take innocent children and push them into the Sarayu river. And it's not just when he was grown up. Even as a child, he would push his friends into the Sarayu river and laugh when they were drowning. And when the citizens complained to King Sagara became upset and banished his son without any resources and told him, you figure out your life in the forest. You're not fit to be in this kingdom. So you tell me what mistake has Ramachandra done. Tell me one mistake that Ramachandra has done for which the punishment of banishment is applicable to him. In fact, all the citizens love him dearly. One more time, Dasarath Maharaj told Kaikeyi, please cease and desist. Just don't do this. It's too painful for you, painful for all of us. In fact, you're doing all this for Bharata, you say, but please understand that even Bharata will not want this kingdom. How is he going to enjoy a kingdom where his dearest Ramachandra has been banished? Anyway, I'm fed up of you, you wretched woman. I'm also going away to the forest with Ramachandra. You can sit here and rule the kingdom alone, which have no inhabitants, just trees. You and the trees. You rule it. So Ramachandra, who was listening to all of this is now chapter 37. Ramachandra, who was listening to all of this, spoke up and with a pleasing smile on his face said, what will all this opulence and riches and grains and gold, all of this, how will it serve me in any way? I have no use for these things because I've taken a vow to live like a mendicant. And once the kingdom is gone, what's the use of all of these things? They have no meaning. And he uses this as an analogy. He says, what's the use of being attached to a rope after the elephant has been given away. So generally you need a rope to peg the elephant. But once you've donated the elephant, what is the point in being attached to a rope? So he's saying, I've already given up the kingdom. I've already given up enjoying any sense of royalty. So these things have no meaning for me. So I don't need them. And then he turned to Dasarath Maharaj again and said, please have the forest dwellers' clothing brought here. Because in forest, we cannot live with silken clothes and all the gold jewelry and crown and all of that. So the servants brought this jute cloth in tree bark. Jute is made from tree bark. So tree bark in a very fine way. So Kaikeyi very happily brought those clothes to Ramachandra and gave it to him. She wanted to have the pleasure of handing over those clothes to Ramachandra and said, here you are. So Ramachandra took off his beautiful silken clothes, took off all his gold ornaments and all the pearl necklaces, the diamond studded jewelry that he was wearing. Everything was taken off and he wore this tree bark. And Lakshmana also did the same, took off all of his royal clothes and royal insignia and put on tree bark. Now when Sita Devi held this tree bark, it is said by Valmiki that her body was shivering like that of a deer when she sees a trap by a hunter. The fear. Her eyes became very, very unsteady. And her eyes filled with tears. And she was having difficulty putting on this tree bark because she didn't know how to wear them. She tried once, it slipped. She tried another way, it was not fitting in. It is like a woman who doesn't know how to wear a sari for the first time, tries something. You don't know how to do the pleats and the pallu. And so she says, out of exasperation, while she's crying, she says, Katham nu chiram badhanti munayo vanavasinaha. Iti hya kushala sita samumoha muhur muhur. You know the word muhur muhur. In Bhagavatam it says, muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Muhu means again and again. So Valmiki says, samumoha muhur muhur. She was bewildered. She was confused. She was making mistakes again and again with this tree bark because akushala sita. Akushala means she was inept. She was not skilled at wearing this tree bark. So she asked, Katham no chiran badnanti manayova vanavasina. How do these sages who are living in the forest, how do they put on these tree bark? I'm so at loss. I don't know how to do this. And when everyone saw that she was not able to wear the tree bark, they burst out crying because she's such a gentle young woman who 18 years old, doesn't know how to wear forest clothing because she's lived in the lap of luxury like anything. So Ramachandra very nonchalantly brings the tree bark and helps her to wear it. And when they saw Sita Devi, who's the crown jewel of opulence, who's the source of all opulence, put on tree bark, that's it. They could not control themselves. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas is a very, very intense episode in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. Similarly, Ramachandra and Sita Devi preparing to go to the forest is a heart-shattering episode of renunciation that is very difficult for me to convey because I don't have the realization, but very difficult for the residents of Ayodhya to even grasp and grapple with it. They are just besides themselves that how the source of all opulence and the source of all pleasure are about to walk into a forest as mendicants wearing tree bark and nothing else. I'm going to fast forward to Sundara Kanda just for a moment. When Sita is under Ravana's captivity and Hanuman is on the Simshupa tree looking down, Ravana approaches Sita Devi. And Ravana has his 500 queens with him. And Ravana tells Sita Devi, Sita, marry me. Because when you marry me, you will become the undisputed queen of the three worlds. And you can enjoy all of this opulence that I have, Pushpaka Vimana, palace on Trikuta mountain. Look at my opulence. Look at my glory. And all of this will be yours because you will be my principal queen. And Sita Devi, it is said she smiled, and her smile is described as Shuchi Smita. Smita is smile, and Shuchi means pure. Pure smile means she knows the reality. And what she conveyed to Ravana was, you're a fool, Ravana. My husband is called Madhava, the husband of the goddess of fortune. That means whatever wealth that you have pursued and gotten this wealth. I am that wealth. I am Lakshmi Devi. So why would I be interested in your, 1 penny when I have billions of dollars? That 1 penny worth of your opulence has no meaning to me. And you're talking about glory in the three worlds. This three worlds is nothing like but a mustard seed in creation. And my husband, Sri Ramachandra, is glorious in entire creation. So compared to his glory, your glory is nothing. So I'm not interested. Now such a person had to wear a tree bark and become ready to go to the forest. So up until this point, there was one person who had not spoken up, who decided to speak up because he could not tolerate seeing Sita in tree bark. And this is Vasishta Muni, who's the spiritual master or the priest, the chief priest of the Ikshvaku dynasty. And he is such a senior person that he has been the chief priest since the time of Ikshvaku. So he said, listen, the wife is not different than the husband from a Dharma Shastra perspective. So Ramachandra has been ordered to go to the forest, but Sita has not been asked. So technically speaking, Sita can sit on the throne and rule the kingdom. That way, Ramachandra is also ruling the kingdom indirectly, while he's personally gone to the forest. And then Vasishta looked at Kaikeyi and said, Kaikeyi, if you do not agree with this arrangement, then I, Vasishta, all the citizens, all the Brahmanas, we're all going to leave Ayodhya and reside in the forest with Ramachandra. Because Wherever we are with Ramachandra, that is Ayodhya. And Ayodhya without Ramachandra is a forest. In fact, even Bharata and Shatrughna will not be here with you. They will also drop everything, forget about this kingdom, and they will also come and live in the forest. All that you will be left here with is yourself and the trees in Ayodhya. Okay? And then he uses a verse. He says, no human being has this capacity, but if you do, O Kaikeyi, even if you jump from the ground up unto the sky, even if you can do it, you will not be able to convince Bharata to be the king. He's not going to do it. Because that is Bharata's love for his brother. Not only with any kingdom where there are no Brahmanas, that becomes a place of invitation for Rakshasas and demons. No Vedic tradition will continue. That means everything will fall into darkness of ignorance. Now we are just talking about Brahmanas and residents of Ayodhya. But Kaikeyi, let me tell you that you will see that the beasts, the elephants, the deer, and the birds, they from Ayodhya will follow Ramachandra into the forest, and all the trees will also turn their faces in the direction of the forest where Ramachandra is going. Okay? And he said, I as Vasishta tell you that all these rules cannot be imposed on Sita Devi, because part of Kaikeyi's demands did not include Sita. You cannot afford to have Sita wear a tree bark. So get her to rid of her tree bark. She should wear all her royal garments, all her royal insignia, rings, all the jewelry that she has, crown, nose ring, diamond necklaces, everything. She should wear her royal clothing. She should have royal clothing, jewelry, palanquin, attendants, everything should be there with Sita Devi. So despite Vasishta and who's the greatest of Brahmanas and who had the ability to convince anybody, even when he tried saying to Kaikeyi, Sita Devi's resolve of going to the forest with Ramachandra did not become less even a little bit. For her, it didn't matter. She was happy to wear tree bark if she knew how to do it. She was happy to wear it and walk away into the forest with Ramachandra. That means more than any opulence, more than any possessions, more than fame, name, glory, comfort, for her, the association and the opportunity to serve and enjoy with Ramachandra stands above all other considerations. So with that, we end chapter 37. Do you have any questions or comments, either from today or from last week? Last week where we talked about sadhana and some challenges with sadhana, or in this week's narration. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my
Hare
humble.
Krishna.
I have two questions, Prabhuji. One is Maharaj Kekeya. In fact, first question is about mother of Maharani Kekeyi. Did she have lack of trust in Maharaj's statement that he is going to die if he speaks the truth? Or was she actually careless about Maharaj?
Either way, irrelevant. If the husband says, if I were to tell you what the truth is, I would die, it's an indicator to not pursue the topic further. And she said, It doesn't matter if you're dead or alive. I need to know why you're laughing, because to know that is more important than your life.
Hmm. And the second question is, what was Maharaj's response? I'm curious. Was he?
So what happened is he went to the sage and asked him, my wife is insisting that I tell her, what should I do? The sage told him, forget about it. If your wife wants to desert you and walk away, that's okay. But you should not speak up and put your life at risk.
Mhm. Thank you for this. Very wonderful lesson, Bhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So I was thinking how we should look at Kaikeyi, because the whole circumstance and within the entire Ramayana, it looks like Kaikeyi is a kind of person whom we should, I don't want to use the word hate, but something similar to that. Nobody likes Kaikeyi. But we know that this is all a pastime and everybody is playing their role perfectly to enact the pastimes and finally to kill Ravan. So, how should we look at Kaikeyi, this whole episode?
We should look at Kaikeyi the way Sri Ramachandra looks at her. In fact, the lesson from the beginning in Ramayana is that don't hold any grudge against the instrument of your karma. Of course, Ramachandra is free of karma, but the lesson is certain persons and certain circumstances are the instruments or vehicles that our karma travels on and comes to us. So we don't shoot the messenger. That's a very big lesson. It's not easy. So Ramachandra always said, don't hold any grudge against Kaikeyi at all. So since we are followers of Ramachandra, or trying to be aspiring followers of Ramachandra, we don't hold grudge against Kaikeyi. Another lesson is people generally look at from the point of view of Kaikeyi as a second person. But there are many lessons if we put ourselves in Kaikeyi's shoes and ask, are there times where I have been insensitive, pig-headed, and completely obstinate about my point of view, even at the cost of tremendous amount of angst and agony it might have caused others because I wanted something. So Kaikeyi is actually a good character that Valmiki uses to teach in the first person. Am I like that? Or have I been like that? Do I have those tendencies that if I want something, come what may, this is it. I dig my heels in the ground and I will not budge at all. So both sides, as a second person and as in first person, Kaikeyi is a fantastic model to learn from.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Prabhu, you asked about the sadhana, the question about sadhana in the previous class also nicely discussed. There are some circumstances like when we face Sometimes the good time is not there, too much busy in the office, so we adjust the time here and there. But then there are some circumstances like we go through some situation, the mind becomes full of, it gets so much of stressed out, or there's so much of, for example, let's say a recent incident. So the child is not well, and it creates such a no, the mind becomes so much stressed out. You don't feel like having the bead bag and putting the hand and start chanting. So how do we force ourselves, or how do we inspire ourselves in these tough situations? For different people, it could be different situations, different circumstances. I mean, it varies from person to person. But on principle level, how do we address such circumstances when the mind just does not is too much stressed out due to some emotional problems or all this things?
Sure. So let's take the emotion that you expressed. For example, worry. When a child is sick, it's natural parents do worry. So a question to ask oneself is worrying a medicine? Does our worrying cure the child faster? No. Right? It doesn't. So what does worrying, who does worrying help anyway? It helps nobody.
No, yeah.
Right? So that's first. Second, since the concern for the child is genuine, the only shelter for the child or for us or for anybody in this world is Krishna's presence, rather Krishna's presence or Sita Ramachandra's presence. Because in their presence, one experiences abhaya. Otherwise, it is bhaya only. Correct? Because Ramachandra says, even if one person comes to me once and says, I am yours, I give them abhaya. Abhayam sarva bhutebhya. So if we really want fearlessness, then we need Krishna's presence. We need to be in Krishna's presence. And the only medium to be in Krishna's presence is to invoke Krishna's presence through his name or his leela or his guna or rupa. So what happens is, in the absence of that enlightenment, this worry is like groping in the dark. And darkness is more fearful than light. So worry will not go away. It means that our own heart or mind is in a very unstable condition. And people think that at this point, it will become stable on its own. It doesn't. So it has to be in the presence of, in connection with someone very stable. And now that others cannot tell you. I mean, not tell you, just anyone cannot tell us. Because Prahlad Maharaj already said to Hiranyakashipu, where he says, neither on your own, nor by my telling, or by sitting down and having discussions, can one be inspired to remember Krishna. That is something that each person has to choose for themselves, because, or otherwise, the uncontrolled senses and mind will remain like that. Adanta gobis vishatam tamisram punah punah charvita charvananam. And they will continue groping in the dark, hoping that something they will catch on and hold on to. When what is available right in front of them, they cannot see. So from a health perspective, I think I shared a couple of weeks ago, when my son was younger, he went through really a very, very tough set of years where his eczema had broken very, very badly. His whole body was full of sores, even including his face. He would constantly want to itch himself, and they would bleed, or there would be some excretion of edema or water. It was very, very bad. Whatever we tried didn't work. He never slept properly. We never slept for almost 5 years of his life. We were sleeping only few hours at night. For some reason, that was a big breakout for him. And we tried this medicine, this one, that one. But our prayer in all of these different types of medicines and this thing was only one thing. That there is a prayer from Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh Narasimhadev, only you can infuse by your mercy, you can infuse potency into medicine. You can be the only boat that can help a drowning person. What can parents do to help a child? Balasya neha kripana pitarau narasimha. Balasya na iha. Oh, my dear Lord Narasimhadev, parents cannot help a child. Especially when the child is sick, they cannot help. He says a drowning person cannot be helped by a boat unless your mercy is there. Okay. So yes, there are ample reasons and stimuli for becoming disturbed. But that is what makes a devotee or an aspiring devotee different from the common folk who perhaps don't know that such an alternative exists. To become fearless, or the mind to become calm, enlightened, and satisfied and happy. Now that others cannot tell. Others can. So there's a famous saying in English: you can take the horse to the lake, but you cannot make him drink water. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we heard how heartbroken even Vashishta was when he saw Mother Sita in the tree bark or the jute clothes. But you said Ramachandra was pretty much nonchalant. Do the Acharyas give us any insight into how Lord Ramachandra was feeling?
Nonchalant.
Okay.
It doesn't mean insensitive. He had already convinced her not to go. She was determined to go. And together, they will face any difficulty that will come. And he is confident as her protector or her husband. I shouldn't say protector, if it's insensitive. As her partner, he is very confident that he can take care of her. Back to Dhira Lalita, two more points. That verse of Prahlad Maharaj is Matir na Krishne Parata Svatova. Matir na Krishne, the mind will not go to Krishna. Parata, by someone else telling us. Svatova, on our own also. Mitha abhipadyeta grahavratanam. This grahavrata tendency means where my house is my world. And no other reality exists outside of that. Then it is very difficult. Okay. And another point is in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aushadham aham, I am the medicine, I am the healing herb. So whatever medicine one may give, unless Krishna's healing potency doesn't descend, the person cannot be cured. Otherwise, what is true is anybody who takes medicine should live. It's not true. People who take medicine also die or become even more sick. So Krishna's healing potency must descend. So as a parent, as a concerned parent, we can call on to Krishna saying, please let your healing potency descend. Because it's very difficult for me to see the child. More than the child suffering, it's difficult for me. I mean, I'm not talking about you particularly, since you asked the question about a child's health, I'm sharing.
Yeah.
I also went through very difficult conditions like that. I'm sure there are parents who go through even more difficult situations. And for each person, their own situation is very difficult.
So under those circumstances, like, how do we force or inspire ourselves at least to maintain our sadhana at least that particular day or those?
Simple. If we are followers of Ramachandra, then we made vows.
Yeah.
We made vows. Just the way we made vows to stay with our spouse, we don't tell the spouse, someone very attractive came and my mind was disturbed, so I had difficulty maintaining my vow to you. Cannot say. We made a vow. We made a vow for the rest of my life. I'm with you. Of course, we may have doubts about it later, but I'm with you. So similarly, we made vows. Now one may say, well, I made a vow without knowing it. Well, you're responsible for it. Who asked you? I mean, I'm not talking about you. Who asked you or anyone to say to the spiritual master that this life is meant for you? In fact, each one of us can be better parents, better husbands, better wives, better friends, better employees, better brothers and sisters and citizens of the world when we are infused with bhakti. Otherwise, we cannot be. When I told our spiritual master many, many years ago, I want to go and be with my father, he asked me, are you a doctor? I said, no, I'm not. He said, so how can you take care of your father? I said, it's for my emotional. So he said, it's not for your father, it's for yourself. I said, yeah, actually that's true. It's for myself. And he said, if you become a devotee of Krishna, then Krishna will take care of your father much better than you can ever imagine. So, whatever it takes, it's said that you chant with some feeling. If feeling is a disinterest, then chant with disinterest, my dear Krishna. I have absolutely no interest in chanting your name. No interest at all. In fact, this is like eating sawdust. But that is my condition. I'm eating sawdust. No taste. But you know what? I made a promise.
Yeah.
Of course, when life is in danger, there are emergency duties. Prabhupada says you have emergency duty. Someone asked Prabhupada, was Arjuna chanting his rounds while Kurukshetra war was happening? Prabhupada said it's emergency duty. They're fighting from morning till evening. He's not like he fought and after sunset came and told Draupadi, "Khana thoda late hoga, mere ko 4 round bacha hai." Not like that. Emergencies are different. When one's own life is at danger, that's a different context.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very much helpful. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji.
One second. If japa is the issue, find something in bhakti that really inspires you. Whatever that thing is, at that moment, and do that. So for some people, let's say like me, I like to read or hear. That just completely pulls me out of any condition. That's my fuel in my rocket. So I use that to feel some juice, some energy. When I hear something about Krishna's particular pastime, or I hear about last few days, I've been just meditating on Lord Shiva and what a personality Lord Shiva is. What kind of compassion and selflessness he has for all the living entities, especially what people don't care about: snakes, scorpions, rakshasas, ghosts. No one cares. No one wants them anywhere, and he will give them shelter. Just what a personality Lord Shiva is. I mean, how can one not pray to Lord Shiva and say, can I get like a small, tiny atomic ounce of your compassion and this genuine love that you have for all the living entities? I mean, these things put something in me to say, oh, I'm very fortunate to have received the name of the same personality Lord Shiva also prays to. Something, something to energize ourselves, whatever it is. Someone likes a bhajan, someone likes some seva, someone likes the picture of a deity, someone of a devotee, something. Find, I had said last week, find your own coping strategy. So find it and apply the strategy. Sorry, long answer, but I hope it's helpful.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, who was, I cut someone off.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Kaikeyi, when she was doing everything for Bharata, and she thinks it is Bharata will like it, but was it not suggested that we wait till Bharata comes and then check with him and then decide?
How can she wait till Bharata comes? That morning Ramachandra is going to get crowned as the Prince Regent.
So they can postpone that.
Yeah, they didn't have your WhatsApp number. That was the muhurta that was fixed. On such and such day, Pushyami Nakshatre, perfect date. And it was decided by Dasaratha, who was in a big hurry to get it done.
I have one more question, Prabhuji. So sometimes Kaikeyi thought that Bharata would like it, and similarly, I also think sometimes if I want to please my my loved one, so I want to do something, but when we check with them, they say they don't want anything. So how do we do in such?
How do we what? Force our love on them?
How do we express our love towards them when they say that they don't want anything? Even Krishna doesn't need anything, but he lets us serve some way.
So you're saying the love of your life is more difficult than Krishna? More difficult to please than pleasing Krishna?
No. No, but
so they may say they don't want anything, but they're after all human beings. They're after all, there are certain things that they like and dislike. Find out without asking them, and what do you like, what do you like? And if someone asks me, what do you like? It's very annoying. Okay. So find out, observe.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Some people like to be left alone. So maybe that's the best service. That's the secret in my house. We just left, I've learned.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Mahati, I'm just teasing you partly, okay? Don't take it too seriously.
No, Prabhuji, thank you.
She's leaving me alone.
Are you crying, Kirti, or laughing?
Both, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Go ahead, Mother.
No, Mataji, please ask.
Oh, okay, thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Shichi here. And I have a question on, so we're trying to understand that Kaikai, though everyone is trying to convince her, but in spite of being knowing that Dasharatha would die, he's still very adamant here and she wants what she wants. I'm also thinking that even Ram know that if he leaves to the forest, Dashrath would die. So what is making him do that, in despite of knowing that if he leaves, he would die? I mean, you did talk about how parents' love for their kids are. Similarly, how kids' love for their parents are. He knows that his separation would hurt him. So what is it making him? I understand dharma is one big factor. Is that the only factor he's considering to leave?
So let's first start with the transcendental perspective. All Vedic scriptures tell us that at the time of death, one should only remember the name of Lord Narayana. The Bhagavatam's verse particularly says, Ante Narayana Smriti.
Mm-hmm.
And in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, Krishna says, Anta kale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. Anta kale, very end moment. Anta kale cha mam eva smaran, one who one who remembers me. So, Anta kale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. Mad bhavam yati. One achieves me, or the destination is me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ramachandra goes away to the forest, what do you think Dasarath Maharaj will be saying? Oh Rama, oh Rama, oh Rama.
Yes.
Right? So isn't Ramachandra helping Dasaratha reach the peak of spiritual ecstasy? Yes.
Okay.
And to such a degree that he will get rid of this body and enter the spiritual world. So that's one, from a transcendental perspective. Second, if he doesn't go to the forest because my daddy is going to die, that daddy is going to be alive as the most useless, horrible king in the Ikshvaku history that could not keep up a word that he gave. That is worse than death, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, infamy is worse than death. For a Kshatriya, they would rather die than be notorious or lose their fame. And third, Ramachandra does not have bodily relationships. This is my father. This is my mother. He is going to save thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of sages that have been waiting for hundreds of years. He is going to deliver hundreds of demons, hundreds of thousands and millions of demons. He is going to take care of and give his association to tribal people, birds, monkeys, bears, demons, all sorts of people. So his going to the forest is actually going to benefit everybody, including Dasarath Maharaj. Kaikeyi, on the other hand, is not going to benefit anyone.
Okay.
So now we cannot say as an ordinary child, I don't care for the life of my parent. It's not like that. But everybody has to understand that each person has to make certain choices in their lives that may be inconvenient to their parents. But if their choices are going to benefit themselves and a whole bunch of other people in life, why not? Some inconvenience is okay. So Ramanujacharya took sannyas, Shankaracharya took sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Ramachandra went to the forest, Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura. Because there is a greater good that needs to be achieved. So practically for us, we want to practice Krishna consciousness, and our parents or so-called well-wishers may have a different view of how they want to see our life. But if this is our calling, okay, it's a little inconvenient for them. What's the inconvenience that you don't eat here and there, or you chant Hare Krishna? Of course, but that's okay. It should be done sensitively and dealt with carefully. I'm not saying be insensitive, but doesn't mean that one doesn't, that one sacrifices their own calling in life.
Makes sense. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving me the chance.
Oh, no problem, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I had two questions. So about sadhana, as you mentioned last time, that we should make a real schedule rather than ideal. So I was also thinking that even sometimes schedule feels real to me, but some or the other thing will happen that it doesn't work out. It will work out for some time. So I wanted to understand that how the service mood to our spiritual master or attraction for this process or to Krishna works in this. Like that, does that mean that I yet do not have that much mood of service or something like that?
Nobody should tell you, or me, or anyone, nobody should tell whether you have mood of service or not. We are not carrying a service meter and checking others. Nobody knows. Nor should anyone ever challenge or doubt someone's commitment to Guru. What may be the case is a genuine lack of skill to put certain things in practice and stick with what's important. Some people only move when things become urgent, and that habit one needs to break. One, and second, it's also a matter of prioritizing somehow to know that first, or whenever I have created this schedule, unless there is a earth-shattering emergency, let me see what I can do. For example, I mean, you're a mother. Your children can get hungry. They may need some attention, something. Okay. So plan for it. Is there enough food so that when they are hungry, all I can say is, yeah, there is food available. Whatever, if someone wants your attention for a few minutes, you pause, give them the attention they need. They'll go happily do their thing. You get back. I mean, whatever. I don't know the circumstance.
Yeah.
So
Right.
all I'm saying is, the secret is not in making the plan only. The secret is in learning the skill to implement it. Most plans fail when it comes to implementation. So find something that works for you. Seek the support of others.
Right. Yeah, like chanting with someone or reading with someone. Like
Whatever.
that.
It's even simpler. Someone can take care of your children for whatever, half an hour, 1 hour that you have. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Why I was asking this because like I saw that wherever like lot of attraction is there and my own very much interest is there, that works out best. So that's from where I was coming. But yeah,
obviously, we tend to generally a conditioned soul tends to operate on the platform of like and dislike, and less on the platform of duty. That is very much true. But I'm nobody to talk about someone else's commitment to their guru or the process of bhakti. That's not my prerogative or my area. I can't say. It would be a grave offense to tell someone, yeah, you don't have enough sufficient guru nishta. I can't say that. If that's a person's own realization, then fantastic. Then do what it takes to build that nishtha.
Right. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
So among the gamut of possibilities, is that a possibility? Maybe. Does that lack of guru nishtha then manifest in other things also? Then yes. But if it doesn't manifest in other, then it's not a pervasive symptom. It's just a lack of ability. Certain skill is not there. The competency to put together and execute on a sadhana plan is not there.
Right, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So another quick question I had. So unfortunately, recently one of my friend and also one of my relative were diagnosed with different types of cancers. And yeah, Prabhu, it's very saddening. But but they are not, they are into like different things. And the other person is, my relative is quite elderly. They are in about their 80s kind of. So I was just wondering, how can I do something that might just spiritually help them? Can you kindly like give some suggestion?
Are they averse to Krishna?
Not really, but like sort of like all gods sort of a thing. No.
So at a time which is so critical for them, like a life and death situation, part of it is disservice to go and shatter their faith.
Oh, okay.
I mean, then they have nothing to hold on to.
Right, very right.
They have nothing to hold on to, which is more fearful than they're holding on to something, some higher entity. Just from a human perspective, there's something to hold on to.
Right.
Unless if it is something grossly materialistic, then it's okay to break or shatter that. But it is at least a little theistic in the mode of goodness. That's okay.
Yeah.
So without their or with their permission, or however you do it, maybe they get some prasadam, they get some tulasi from the deities. You sponsor some feast in their benefit. So there are indirect ways in which Sukruti can go to them.
Okay, like yeah, even if they are not consciously practicing anything, but still it can reach to them. The mercy can still go.
When Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj said, if you are at all pleased with me, then please bring him back to life. Or please forgive his offenses. Not bring him back to life. Please forgive his offenses. So once a devotee's access to Krishna can definitely be used to give mercy to someone else. This is who a devotee is. Right? This is who Lord Shiva is, drinking poison, not begrudgingly, happily drinking poison, so others can get the nectar.
Right. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. That's a very
You
wonderful
don't have
point.
to drink poison, but you can pass on some nectar to others. Somehow
Yes,
or the other.
Prabhu, Prashadam. So yeah, I'm gonna make some soup. We had talked, so I'm gonna make some soup for her today. So yeah, thank you very much. So I'm doing something okay, right?
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hare
Find
Yeah.
a pastime from scripture that they can narrate as a story without, so many lessons that they have to do. Some katha, some shravanam.
Right. Yes, Prabhu. Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, should we stop? I guess so. All right, thank you very much. See you again next Saturday. Until then, please invoke the auspicious and wonderful qualities of Sita Devi, who is so steadfastly determined to accompany Ramachandra into the forest, and gives us a glimpse into the kind of unalloyed devotion that a living entity can and hopes to have with Lord Ramachandra. Hare Krishna. Take care.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.